Hello and welcome back to Around the Minor League. Well, I am at least. This is a solo episode for me. Um, I'm sorry for the long hiatus. I know it's been 3 weeks since we've put out a podcast. Me and Will have had some just scheduling difficulties. I started back to my summer job since getting back from college, and Will's just had some stuff he's had to deal with, so we're trying to get a little better at finding time for us to do these episodes for you, because I know for both of us we really like to do them, but this episode is actually going to be a little different than what we usually do. This one is actually going to be more catered to the NCAA baseball tournament than it is minor league baseball. I'm still going to go over the standings and how those look, and then we are going to get into a breakdown of how the regionals went if you did not watch them, and then how the teams match up in the super regionals, and then some predictions, some series to watch out for, and some dark horses that you may see make it into Omaha and have a good chance of making a run. But let's get right into it. So we're gonna start with our standings for the minor leagues. AAA in the International League, Memphis and Nashville. Those are St. Louis and Milwaukee's AAA teams are tied and are both half a game. And both have a half a game lead over Rochester, who is Washington's AAA. In the Pacific League, Sacramento, San Francisco's AAA team has a 5-game lead over Oklahoma City, which is the Dodgers AAA team. AA in the Eastern League, New Hampshire, Toronto's AAA team, and Hartford, Colorado's not AAA team, AA team. You can tell I'm rusty, and it's been a while since we've done episodes. I'm thinking we're in AAA and we're in AA. But they are both tied and both have a half-game lead over Portland, which is Boston's AAA team. Richmond, which is San Francisco's AA team, has a 6.5-game lead over Harrisburg, which is Washington's AA team. In the Southern League, Chattanooga, Cincinnati's AA team has a half-game lead over Knoxville. That's the Cubs AA team. Montgomery, Tampa Bay's AA team, has a 1.5-game lead over Biloxi, which is Milwaukee's. The Texas League, Tulsa, which is the LA Dodgers AA team, has a 1.5-game lead over Arkansas. That is Seattle's AA team. Midland, the Athletics AA team, has a half-game lead over Amarillo, which is Arizona's. High A in the Midwest League, Great Lakes, the Dodgers High A team has a 1-game lead over Dayton, which is Cincinnati's High A team. South Bend, the Cubs High A team, has a 4.5-game lead over Wisconsin, which, if you guessed it, is Milwaukee's High A team. Northwest Eugene. I want to know what the heck is going on with San Francisco's farm system right now, because they have 1, 2, 3 teams that are leading their divisions. I mean, if you are a San Francisco fan, you are so happy about the future. But Eugene has a 10-game lead over Tri-City, which is the Angels high team. In the South Atlantic League, Greensboro, the Pirates high team has a half-game lead over Fredericks. That is the Orioles high team. Bowling Green, Tampa Bay's high team, has a 6.5-game lead over Winston-Salem. That is the White Sox high team. Getting into single A, the California League, San Jose, which if you'd guessed it, San Francisco, has a 2-game lead over Fresno, which is Colorado's. Lake Elsinore, the Padres single A team has a 2-game lead over Rancho Cucamonga, the Angels high single A team. And the Carolina League, Fredericksburg, the Nationals high single A team, has a 11-game lead over Wilson. That is Milwaukee's single A team. Hickory and Augusta, that is the Rangers and Atlanta's single A team, are tied and both have a 3-game lead over both Kannapolis and Charleston. Kannapolis is the White Sox single A team, and Charleston is the Tampa Bay Rays single A team. And our last league, the Florida League, Palm Beach, St. Louis has a 1-game lead over Jupiter. That is Miami's single A team. Clearwater, the Phillies single A team, has a 2-game lead over Fort Myers, which is the Twins single A team. So those are your minor league standings right now. Really, if you had to choose a team that was having probably the best start to minor league baseball right now as an organization, San Francisco's got 4 of their teams that are, they basically got a team at every, they've got a team at every level that we cover up to single A that is leading a division or league. So once again, if you're a San Francisco fan, you are so happy right now, and you're really looking forward to the future of San Francisco baseball. But like I said, this episode is going to be a little bit different. We are now going to dive into the NCAA regionals, which finished up Monday, which is yesterday from when this is being recorded on Tuesday, June the 2nd. I do want to give some little notes with this NCAA tournament. So no team from last year's tournament made it to this year's tournament. This is also the second straight year where the national number 1 and 2 seeds have been knocked out. We'll get into that a little bit later, but these regionals were crazy. I watched the majority of them on. I have found the best way to watch the regionals and probably the super regionals if you have ESPN Plus through either the ESPN app or if you do the bundle with Disney Plus. It's called Squeeze Play, and they'll show like 4 games at a time. in like little boxes. But I've found that is the best way to watch it, because they'll go to like, if a big play happens or somebody hits a home run, they'll cut the audio over to that game, and you're just watching baseball. But these regionals, they were crazy. This was almost, it seemed like the stuff you would see in March Madness with basketball was happening within these regionals with some of the upsets you saw. But let's get into these regionals and break them down, see all what happened, and then we will get into the matchups for these super regionals and some predictions for you. So starting off in the LA regional, your winner coming out of that is Cal Poly. Probably the biggest thing coming out of that regional is the fact that the number one team from the start of the season up to the regionals, UCLA has been the national number one team. They were knocked out by St. Mary on a walk-off in the elimination game to get to, I believe it was the elimination game to get in. It may not have been. Let me double check that real quick. No, so it was the elimination game to get into the regional finals. Cal Poly had beaten Virginia Tech and then beat St. Mary's. But St. Mary's walked off UCLA to knock them out of the tournament. So that's the big thing coming out of the LA regional. Morgantown, which was West Virginia's regional. West Virginia came out the victor in that regional. After losing to Kentucky in the semifinal of that regional, they beat Wake Forest in the elimination bracket semi, and then proceeded to beat Kentucky twice. But in game 7 of that regional, they walked off Kentucky in the bottom of the 10th, 6-5 to make it out of that regional. Hattiesburg. I don't know why I put Harrisburg on my notes. Hattiesburg regional. I was a little biased towards this regional, strictly due to the fact that I'm currently right now going to Jacksonville State University, and that was the regional that the Gamecocks were in. Little Rock is your regional winners out of Hattiesburg. They become just the number 4 fourth seed to sweep a regional. They started off that regional in surprising fashion, beating the national ranked number 9 Southern Miss, and then proceeded to sweep out the regional to win that one. The Gainesville regional, which was the University of Florida, the Troy Trojans make it out of that regional. They ran the entire elimination bracket after losing to Miami in the first round and beating Troy twice to win that regional. Chapel Hill, your winner out of that one is North Carolina. They really only had one game that was a bit scary, and that was the semifinal game against Eastern Carolina. Other than that, their other two games were just domination. College Station, which is Texas A&M. Southern California is your winner out of that one. Like Troy, they ran the entire elimination bracket and beat Texas A&M twice. Both games were in relatively dominating fashion. This is after a surprising loss to Texas State in their first game of the regional. Lincoln, which was Nebraska. Ole Miss is your winner out of that one. Ole Miss beat Nebraska in the semifinals to win to make it to the regional finals. Arizona State then turned around and beat Nebraska in the elimination game to go to the regional. So Nebraska, another national ranked team, was knocked out. The Auburn regional. I'm just gonna say this just because I have friends who were Auburn baseball fans. You would have thought the world was ending after Auburn's first game against Milwaukee, where Milwaukee proceeded to put 13 up on Auburn. Auburn then turned around and proceeded to play pissed off, for a lack of better terms, through the elimination bracket. And then they turned around and showed that the first game was I'm not going to say a fluke because it wasn't a fluke. Was an off day for Auburn. So Auburn comes back to win their regional. Atlanta, Georgia Tech. This one was a bit of a surprise to me. Oklahoma is your winner in that one. This is after losing to Georgia Tech in the semifinal and then beating Citadel in the elimination semi, and then turning around and beating Georgia Tech and walking them off in Game 7 in the bottom of the 10th. They came back in both the game to force Game 7 and the walk-off. So they make it out of the Atlanta regional. Lawrence, Kansas, comes out of that regional and in relatively dominating fashion. They make it to their first super regional ever as the number 15 ranked team in the nation. Tallahassee, Florida State's region. St. John's, who I don't mean to be mean, was not who I would have picked at all to come out of this regional. They shocked people. They beat Florida State in their first game and then proceeded to just run away with the regional. They knocked out Florida State in the regional finals to win that regional. So that's another national seed that's been knocked out. I'm probably gonna go. I'll go through after I go through all these regionals and figure out how many nationals. I think it was 4 national ranked teams were knocked out. Tuscaloosa, Alabama's regional. Alabama made it out of that one in relatively good fashion for them. Not much to talk about with that one. There's really not much to talk about with these next couple ones. They were just dominated by the host teams. Austin, which is Texas. Texas made it out of their regional in just dominating fashion. The teams that were in that regionals really didn't really have a chance to compete against an SEC stool like Texas. Eugene, Oregon made it out of their host regional. Once again, in relatively dominant fashion. They outscored opponents 22-3. So if that tells you anything with how their regional went. Starks Vegas, as it's known to the Mississippi State fans. Pretty much the same thing. I mean, Mississippi State clobbered everybody. They were 39-11. Run. I mean, they just beat the crud out of everybody. To go through a regional and only give up 11 runs while scoring 39 just shows how dominating you are. And then our last regional, Athens, Georgia's regional. They really did much of the same. They made it out of their regionals. So let me just check something real quick. So 7 of the 16 national seeded teams were knocked out in the regionals. So now we will get into the super regional matchups. Morgantown, which is West Virginia. You have the number 16 ranked team in the nation, West Virginia versus Cal Poly. Troy. You have Troy versus Little Rock, the Battle of the Trojans. This is Troy's first super regional host, as well as their first super regional. Chapel Hill, you have the number 5 ranked North Carolina Tar Heels versus the Southern California Trojans. Auburn, you have an SEC showdown. You've got number 4 ranked Auburn versus Ole Miss. Lawrence, you have a battle of former conference rivals within number 15 ranked Kansas versus Oklahoma. Tuscaloosa, you have number 7 Alabama versus St. John. Austin, you have number 6 Texas versus number 11 Oregon. Athens is another SEC showdown with number 3 ranked Georgia versus number 14 Mississippi State. I know we don't do this much because, I mean, most of the time we're not covering series that aren't about to happen, but since the super regionals don't start till Friday, I thought I'd do a little bit of my predictions for how I think these super regionals are going to turn out. I feel like West Virginia will make it out of theirs, especially with the momentum they have coming off of um, the regionals, walking it off against Kentucky, and that uh, Troy and Little Rock's going to be. It may not be. It may be one of the more competitive um regionals unless one of the teams just run away with it. But I feel like Little Rock. Well, I mean, both teams were a 4 seed, weren't they? Yeah, both teams were 4 seeds. So I mean, this could be. Well, no, Troy wasn't a 4 seed. Troy was a 3 seed because Ryder was the 4. I mean, I feel like Little Rock is going to come out of this regional simply with due to the amount of excitement that is surrounding that team with the fact that they were able to go into Hattiesburg and just sweep that regional. Chapel Hill, North Carolina versus Southern California. I mean, unless North Carolina just comes out and just plays like crud, I feel like they'll make it out of their super regional. Auburn versus Ole Miss. Anytime you get an SEC matchup in the super regionals, it's always going to be a good one. This one's going to depend on whether we get the Auburn that played Milwaukee game 1 of their regionals, or the Auburn that played Milwaukee game 6 and game 7 of their regional. If it's the Auburn that played game 1 against Milwaukee, Ole Miss has a good shot. If it's the Auburn that played game 6 and game 7, Auburn's probably going to come out of that regional or super regional. Kansas versus Oklahoma. I feel like even though Oklahoma moved to the SEC, there's probably still some bad blood there from being former conference rivals and stuff like that. But I still have to give the nod to Kansas. They have so much momentum behind them right now, hosting their first regional, winning that regional, and then their first super regional host. I just feel like that team has too much excitement and playing for too much for them to come out and play poorly. Tuscaloosa, Alabama versus St. John. This is going to sound crazy, but Alabama is probably the biggest team other than maybe Auburn with Ole Miss to be on upset watch with them playing St. John. I mean, St. John has so much momentum with them coming out of the Florida State regional, and with the way they just dominated that regional. I mean, they beat Florida State both times by 1 run, but to do it twice and to just win it outright, I feel like they have some momentum against with them. Texas versus Oregon. These next 2 regionals, if you want to watch some good college baseball, watch these super regionals. Texas versus Oregon. SEC versus Big Ten. So there's probably going to be some hatred there because those are the 2 big Power 4 schools when it comes to baseball. So you probably got some bad blood there. I feel like out of those two teams, I'm gonna have to give it to Texas. Um, I feel like they've got a bit of a better rotation and better lineup than Oregon, and with the fact that they're getting to be the host site for the Super Regional. And then our last one, Georgia versus Mississippi State. Another SEC matchup. I feel like Georgia, after seeing what has happened with UCLA and Georgia Tech being knocked out, they have to be your favorite now to win the College World Series. They have so much momentum behind them, from winning the SEC championship to winning their regionals in just dominating fashion. I feel like unless they just play like crap against Mississippi State, they'll come out of that region. They'll come out of that super regional fine. So that is today's episode. I know it was a bit of a quick one and kind of a surprise episode since we haven't uploaded in a while. I just wanted to hop on and do a quick episode. That way we could let you guys know we're still here. We'll still want to do episodes and upload stuff for you guys. And like I said, we're trying to do a better job of scheduling stuff so we can record these episodes for you guys. But you guys have a good rest of your day.